To adaure achumba to get answers.
That's right. The snowstorm couldn't have come at a worse time. Folks are ordering gifts for loved ones and expecting some in return, but not getting mail for days. Well, it's worrying for many of them. Hackers have been targeting financial data and personal health information across the country, and tried IT experts are watching the developments closely. Winston-Salem authorities believe all three of the shootings are related, including one shooting at a child's birthday party in a city park. The first one happened right here on April 7th at the Novo Lounge on Cherry Street.
WFMY News 2's adaure achumba spoke to one tenant about some of the problems they say they deal with.
Chad, inspectors found faulty wiring, bad smoke detectors, and even a sewer leak. And that's just the beginning. So far, they found 18 violations in 2 days of inspections. And city officials say part of the problem is a language barrier because many tenants don't know how to report problems to get them fixed. The church fills backpacks like this one with gifts for foster kids, and it includes lots of brand new items like new clothes and blankets. They're called comfort bags. Check these photos out. Epic selfie for the gram and the perfect post to Facebook. As much as you want to take pictures with the roadside flowers, NCDOT and Highway Patrol want you to think safety before selfie. They're used in everyday household items like nonstick cookware, stain-resistant carpet, and even microwave popcorn bags. Now, you can also find them in firefighting foam and in various industrial and aviation chemicals. Officials say the water is still safe and there's nothing to worry about because you need to be exposed to about 2 quarts of contaminated water daily over a 70-year period for any adverse effect. But they're still taking it seriously, and they are working to get levels back to below guidelines. Building your family tree can be a painstaking and emotional project. It can also cost lots of money with DNA testing. But soon you can do half of that research for free and with a click of a button. Preston Kendall was a music teacher at Hampton Elementary. The storm left his trailer classroom in pieces. But with some recovered instruments and a cart, he and his students are making new music. Say you saw these two at a restaurant around 7 p.m. You'll probably assume it was a date, but they could just be co-workers having a business dinner. Now, to avoid any misconceptions, some folks practice the so-called Billy Graham rule, where they refuse to be alone with a person of the opposite sex on moral grounds. A Lee County Sheriff's deputy tried to invoke that rule when training a female deputy and reportedly got fired. It all started Thursday when High Point police pulled over this guy, 27-year-old Darrett Bennett. The officer then realized Bennett was already under investigation by the narcotics unit. Investigators got a warrant to search Bennett's car and these 2 homes. The first one, a house on Hay Street with this very graphic sign. It reads, quote, "Warning, no trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again," end quote. The second house was on Londonderry Drive. Officers seized a stockpile of firearms, illegal narcotics, including cocaine, meth, ecstasy, heroin, and marijuana. They also seized thousands of dollars in cash. Neighbors there who didn't want to speak on camera tell me the home was being rented, but nothing they saw raised a red flag. They said they were alarmed and dismayed that a home in their neighborhood was allegedly being used for drug trafficking. One neighbor was concerned his children were so close to it all. Now, Bennett is at the Guilford County Jail in High Point under a $5 million bond. Police also arrested 2 other suspects, 27-year-old Derek Price and 25-year-old Lene Hutchison. All 3 face multiple felony charges. Kids snatched away in the blink of an eye. Parents left startled and helpless. But then a stranger took action to get the children back to the mom and dad.
Burlington 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Oh my God, we're at Academy Sports. Somebody just stole our car and our kids are in it.
A mom's frantic call to 911 after a stranger stole her car with her kids inside.
They're in a Ford Explorer. It's silver. They're headed towards Holly Hill Mall.
Okay.
In the back.
Okay.
The kids were buckled up in the back seat.
Oh my God, they just took our car and our kids. They're in our silver Explorer. floor.
Burlington police say it happened Wednesday in front of Academy Sports on Huffman Mill Road.
They were loading stuff in the back, and he literally jumped in the car and took off. I was standing in the parking lot at my truck, and I heard somebody start screaming, and then I seen the car take off across the parking lot.
The helpless mom stayed on the phone with 911 while a stranger followed the stolen car.
Oh my God, are they going to be okay? Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to throw up.
Nearly 7 minutes later, an emotional reunion.
Oh my God, there's my kids.
Okay, the kids are there? Okay.
The man who followed the suspect returned the kids to the mom after the kids hopped out of the car just nearby.
Okay. Okay, listen.
Now, police say the suspect ditched the car and hasn't been seen since, and they're asking you to call if you have any information that can lead to that suspect.
Not long after, a co-worker shot and killed him at work where they worked at the sanitation department in Winston-Salem.
Today, his wife spoke to WFMY News 2's Adaure Achumba about her loss.
It's like I'm numb, I'm void. My best friend, my lover, my kid's father, he's gone.
Father of four Terry Cobb had just celebrated his son's birthday on December 19th. The next day, his wife LaToya Ford Cobb tried to talk him into Christmas shopping, but he went to work instead.
At 5:24, my husband woke me up and gave me a kiss, told me he loved me, and told me to call him when I got up.
His wife never got the chance to hear her husband's voice again.
At 6:50, my phone was ringing to let me know that my husband had been shot.
Winston-Salem police responded to a shooting at the sanitation facility on Lowry Street. Police say a co-worker, Stephen Hazlip, shot and killed Terry Cobb. Investigators say Hazlip wounded another co-worker and an officer before police shot and killed him. LaToya says things could have been much worse.
My husband wasn't the only one he was after. He was after 3 other people. They would have had 4 bodies laying up in that place, not just one.
Other sanitation workers said both men had a dispute the day before the shooting.
They should have let one of them go, or not let both of them go. You can't take things like this lightly.
LaToya says as she focuses on raising her children without their dad, she's weighing her options and also empathizes with the Hazlip family.
I have forgiven him, but I can't forget it because I can't get to where I need to be in heaven if I walk around with hatred in my heart.
Now, Winston-Salem's assistant city manager says they are aware that the Cobb family now has a lawyer. He also said the city can't comment further about the incident nor confirm any dispute between Mr. Cobb and Mr. Hazlip due to personnel privacy laws.
WFMY News 2's Adaure Achumba learned more about him tonight.
The employee was an arborist at the zoo taking part in an aerial rescue drill when he fell and died this morning, just before the zoo opened. Now, we learned he was a religious man who was involved in Vacation Bible School at his church in Liberty. In fact, he was supposed to take part in a play tonight. Instead, his family, friends, and the congregation, as well as co-workers, are grieving.
Randolph County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
It's the North Carolina Zoo. We've got an injured person who has just fallen out of a tree.
A 911 call details what happened right after an arborist fell from a tree at the North Carolina Zoo's Africa exhibit.
We did our drill where we had a person up in the tree to be rescued. And this is when this incident happened.
The drill that was taking place was an exercise to rescue someone out of a tree. The zoo is not releasing the employee's name as requested by the family.
The Criminal Investigation Division responded also. During the investigation, detectives have ruled this as an accidental death.
Staff members are calling it a sad and tragic day. The zoo is providing counselors for them and their families.
Everyone at the zoo wishes to express our deepest condolences to the family and that we truly are devastated by the loss.
Now, this is the first fatal accident in the zoo's history. The Randolph County Sheriff's Office and the State Labor Department continue to investigate. The zoo will reopen with normal hours tomorrow. Guys, standing in line like this might be considered the old school way to register to vote, but you can still get things done this way and in the process get yourself a sticker. But with smartphones now, registering to vote is quick and easy.
One of my sorority sisters just led me to the table. I was actually just in the library just studying and I wanted to come get something to eat. So I guess this just popped out to me. So.
UNCG student Zaria Winters is registered to vote. This is her second time, and she says doing this is empowering.
Everybody has that voice, no matter where you're from, to be able to share your ideas. Don't be afraid of what anybody tell you that you can't do.
And that's why fellow student Gia, who identifies as LGBTQI, volunteers to help register folks.
No matter what community you represent, other people can see you out there doing that, and that can inspire them to go vote if they're not already inclined to vote.
Folks can register online, and Board of Election officials say now is the time to plan for elections.
The election's not till November 6th, but you can get an absentee ballot right now. Early voting starts in less than a month, so if you're not registered and you want to get registered or you need to make a change to your voter registration, now's the time to do it.
The deadline to register by mail is October 12th and November 3rd to register in person. Early voting begins October 18th.
At the end of the day, these people are in North Carolina's Senate and House to represent us and to work for us. And we need to make sure the best people are there working for us.
As for Zaria, well, she's ready to spread the word.
They need to give me a whole bunch of stickers to put on so I could just lobby for everybody to vote on campus and wherever I go.
Now, if you missed the deadline, officials say you'll be able to do a same-day registration during early voting, but make sure you bring your ID. Now, if you plan to vote by absentee ballot, you have to make that request by October 30th, and you'll have to mail in your absentee ballot by November 6th. Visit WFMY.com for more helpful links.
WFMY News 2's Adaure Achumba learned a case right here in North Carolina is putting this rule in the spotlight again.
Say you saw these two at a restaurant around 7 p.m. You'll probably assume it was a date, but they could just be co-workers having a business dinner. Now, to avoid any misconceptions, some folks practice the so-called Billy Graham rule, where they refuse to be alone with a person of the opposite sex on moral grounds. A Lee County Sheriff's deputy tried to invoke that rule when training a female deputy and reportedly got fired.
If I was uncomfortable with it, I wouldn't do it either, so.
Former Deputy Manuel Torres claims the Lee County Sheriff's Office violated his civil rights and discriminated against him for his religious beliefs.
That's a tough one, though, because could they have had another party involved or had somebody else train her? Was the answer to absolutely fire him immediately?
Legal experts say it's not that simple.
It is a refusal to separate church and state.
In the lawsuit, Torres says the Bible prohibits him as a married man from being alone for extended periods with a female who isn't his wife.
You can't be a deputy sheriff because we work with females and males and young and old, the whole population of Lee County, and you can't pick and choose.
Critics say the rule restricts opportunities for women to network fairly with men, but others say it's simply protection.
A female preacher I talked with today says while this is a good lifestyle practice, it should be applied with common sense. Now, the Siler City and Apex Police Departments are also named in the lawsuit. The former deputy is claiming retaliation since he wasn't hired.